On a bright and beautiful day, the little rabbit, Rono, was happily hopping between the trees, enjoying the warm sunshine and the gentle breeze. But suddenly, he saw something shining under the leaves and stopped in surprise. Rono said in amazement, "What is this? It's a golden key. But it's not just any key. It looks magical." Rono picked up the key and decided to ask his friends in the forest. Maybe one of them knew the secret behind it. He asked the bluebird, "Hey bluebird, have you seen a door that this key might open?" The bluebird cheerfully replied, "Oh, that key doesn't belong to a nest, but it looks like it could unlock a hidden treasure." Rono excitedly said, "A hidden treasure? Wow, that sounds amazing. I must keep searching." Then he went to the wise tortoise and asked, "Wise tortoise, do you know where I can find the door for this key?" The tortoise replied, I once heard of a mysterious cave at the edge of the forest. There's an old door inside that no one has dared to enter. Maybe the key belongs to it." Rono eagerly said, "A mysterious cave? That sounds thrilling. I must go there right away." Rono began his journey to the distant cave, but the path was not easy, and he had to overcome 3 challenges. The first challenge was crossing the shaky bridge. When Rono stepped onto it, he felt scared and said, "Oh no, the bridge is shaking so much. How will I cross?" He heard the wise owl's voice saying calmly, "Move slowly, don't jump, and balance yourself." Rono took a deep breath and said, "Okay, step by step." And at last, he made it safely across the bridge. The second challenge was the thick fog. When he entered it, he couldn't see anything and worriedly said, "I can't see anything. How will I find my way?" He heard the little beetle's voice saying, "Follow the fireflies. They know the way." Rono followed the glowing fireflies and made it out of the fog safely. The third challenge was the giant spider's web. When he reached it, he thought aloud, "How can I get past this web without getting stuck?" He heard the ant's voice saying, "Don't go through it. Dig a small tunnel under it." Using his cleverness, Rono dug a tiny tunnel under the web and successfully made it through. Finally, Rono arrived at the mysterious cave. In front of him stood a huge stone door, and on it were the same markings as the key. Rono excitedly said, "This is the door. Let's see what's inside." He inserted the key into the lock, turned it slowly, and then the door creaked open. To his surprise, the room was not filled with gold and jewels. Instead, it was full of glowing books. Rono gasped, "But where's the gold and the treasures? Where's the treasure?" A mysterious voice replied, "Knowledge is the greatest treasure, and those who have it have the world." Rono smiled and said happily, "Wow, this is amazing. I can read all these books and learn something new every day." From that day on, Rono started sharing the stories from these books with his friends, making the forest a place full of wisdom and adventure. And so Rono learned that not all treasures are made of gold. Sometimes the greatest treasure is knowledge and learning.
In the heart of the green jungle, where sunlight shimmered through the tall trees, there lived a young lion named Rudy. Unlike the other lions, he didn't enjoy running or roaring. Instead, he spent his time sitting on a high hill, watching the birds soar freely in the sky. One day, as he gazed at the birds, he thought to himself, "I wish I could fly like them. Flying must feel amazing." From that moment, he decided he wanted to become a bird. The next morning, Rudy climbed to the top of the hill. He looked up at the bright blue sky, took a deep breath, and jumped with all his strength. But he didn't fly. He fell quickly, rolling down the grassy hill until he crashed into a small tree. An old turtle lifted her head and calmly said, "Rudy, lions don't fly. You have other strengths, but flying is not one of them." But Rudy wasn't ready to give up. The next day, he gathered large leaves and tied them to his back with strong branches. He made himself a pair of wings, then climbed back up the hill. "This time, I will fly." Rudy jumped high, but the wings didn't work. He fell fast and landed in a pile of leaves. A small monkey laughed and said, "Rudy, you're a lion. Why are you trying to be a bird? Lions don't need wings." But Rudy was determined. He refused to stop trying. One night, Rudy visited the wise owl and asked, "How can I fly?" The owl looked at him with her wide eyes and said, "Not every creature was made to fly, Rudy. Each of us has a special talent to be proud of." But Rudy wasn't fully convinced. He left still dreaming of flying. The next morning, as Rudy was walking through the jungle, he heard a small, weak sound coming from the top of a tree. He looked up and saw a tiny bird trapped between the branches. "Don't worry, I'll help you." Quickly, Rudy used his strength to gently move the branches aside, freeing the little bird's wing. The bird flapped its wings happily and said, "Thank you, Rudy. Without your strength, I wouldn't have been able to fly again." At that moment, Rudy realized something important. Maybe he wasn't meant to fly, but he was strong, and he could help others with his strength. That day, Rudy sat on the hill again. But this time, he wasn't dreaming of flying. He looked over the jungle with pride and said to himself, "I am strong, fast, and brave. I don't need to fly to be special." And from that day on, Rudy no longer wanted to be a bird. He was happy and confident, just as he was, a proud and strong lion. In the heart of the dense jungle, where trees intertwined and vibrant colors spread everywhere, lived a little monkey named Coco. Coco was known among the animals for his mischief, jumping from branch to branch, playing pranks on everyone, and throwing fruits at his friends in jest. But one day, as Coco was swinging between the trees, he overheard the old turtle, Lily, telling the other animals about the grand intelligence competition that would soon take place in the jungle. Benny the elephant excitedly announced, "It's a competition to choose the smartest animal in the jungle. The winner will receive a huge basket of delicious fruits." Coco's eyes widened in amazement as he thought to himself, "I love fruits. But can I win?" When Coco told everyone he would participate, they all burst into laughter. Finn the wolf sneered and said, "Coco, you're just a mischievous monkey. This competition requires intelligence, not tricks." Coco felt angry, but he was determined to prove that he wasn't just mischievous. He was smart, too. The next morning, the animals gathered in the jungle's clearing. Luna, the wise owl, stood before them with a confident smile, ready to test their intelligence, and announced, "The first challenge is solving the puzzle." A closed box with strange carvings was placed before them, and the participants had to decipher the code to unlock it. Benny the elephant stared at the carvings for a long time but couldn't understand them. No, the rabbit tried opening the box, but he failed. But Coco, he had seen this pattern before. He remembered spotting the same carvings etched on the trunk of an old tree. He quickly ran there, read the symbols, then rushed back to enter the solution. And Coco was the first to complete the challenge. The wise owl say, "The second challenge is crossing the lake. The contestants had to cross a small lake by stepping on scattered rocks without falling into the water. No, the rabbit jumped quickly, but slipped and fell in. Benny the elephant was too heavy, and the rocks sank beneath his feet. But Coco, he didn't need to jump. Using his intelligence, he climbed a long branch, then skillfully leaped between the rocks and reached the other side without getting wet. The wise owl say, "The third challenge is choosing the right basket." Luna, placed 3 baskets of fruit before them and said, "One is full of fresh fruit, one is empty, and one contains rotten fruit. You must choose the correct basket, but you cannot touch them." The animals stood puzzled. How could they tell which was the right basket without touching it? But Coco noticed something important. He saw a tiny ant carrying a piece of fruit heading toward one of the baskets. He thought for a moment, then confidently exclaimed, "That one!" The ants always go for fresh fruit. And he was right. At the end of the challenges, Luna announced the results. The winner of this year's intelligence competition is Coco! The animals applauded in amazement, realizing that intelligence isn't just about speed. It's about observation, quick thinking, and creativity.